Is it worth it to spend money on ads to advertise your VTuber debut? Well, let's find out. I spent $500 on different social media platforms including Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, as well as TikTok to see if ads is actually an effective way to promote my VTuber debut. AI overview answers tell us that spending money on ad for a VTuber debut is often not worth it for indie creators. But how would they know that? Have they ever tried? But I did. So with that being said, let's go over the results on is it actually worth it to spend money on ads on your VTuber debut. Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Tenten. I'm a brand new fanboy VTuber. And you know what is the best thing about fanboy VTubers? They're good at math. Very, very good at math. So subscribe to the channels. With that being said, let's get started. If you guys have never seen an ad breakdown before, this is basically what it looked like, where every single social media has their own different ad manager, but it kind of tells you similar things, including how much you spend on your campaign, what are the results from things like impressions, how many people expanded your media, and how many followers you got. So in this case, I spent $100 budget on Twitter and I got 27 followers, which by the way is an absolute scam, but the results is a lot better on other pages from like Instagram and things like that. Now this is the trailer I was trying to promote, which I was really proud of. Well, let me show you guys again real quick. It's a 20-second trailer. This frame there costs like $150 on its own. It's a very, very short trailer. This trailer cost me about $200-ish to make because I have to hire the artist for especially like this frame here and editor for the trailer animation and stuff like that. I purposely went with a more boyish trailer because I'm a boy and I feel like I know what a boy like. Usually VTubers idol trailer, they're like very happy, they're like really dancey, ha 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 ha. I went with more of a fiend kind of trailer because I thought that's what the boys would want, right? When I went to the Nimi Nightmare concerts in Anime Expos with my friends, everyone was chanting the fiend at the pre-show. So I would actually argue that the YouTube trailer did really well and doing ad campaign on YouTube could even be worth it. And I know this for a fact because I did a survey where 44% of the people actually answered that they discover me from YouTube, with 14.8% coming from Instagram and nobody coming from Twitter or TikTok. So let's talk about that. Twitter is an ass platform to promo because they charge you for people scrolling past, what they call impression. You can see there were 61,000 impressions in total, which are again just people who are scrolling past, not actually people who stop and click on the videos. The amount of people who actually clicked it on the videos were just 700. So I got charged $100 for 700 people who clicked it on the videos, who engaged it with the media. And then within that, I got 27 follow. You can kind of see this is what the ad itself looked like, which is just the trailer itself. Within those 700 people who clicked it on the media, 10% of them liked this. So I got 76 likes on this tweet, which I actually think is pretty good. A 10% engagement ratio is really good. I feel like typically engagement ratio is like 1 to 2% because most people who watch the video just watch it and they forget to like and subscribe and stuff like that, which is why it's so important to tell your viewers to like and comment and subscribe, which we like to call CTA, aka call to action, because when we don't tell you, you forget, right? So if you're watching this, subscribe right now because when I don't tell you, you forget. So having a 10% people who watch the video and be like, oh, this is really cool, let me leave a like, I think that's pretty good. But unfortunately, the problem is nobody who just scroll past is gonna click on it. The people who clicked on it liked it, but the people who scroll past this, I got charged for it anyway without actually getting engagement. Without a doubt, Twitter is a platform that is completely garbage, 100% not worth it, right? In comparison, YouTube, I feel like did really well, and YouTube would be the platform where I actually would suggest that doing ads could be worth it. So it is not that doing ads on all the platforms is not worth it. Ads on YouTube got me really, really good results. For $40, which is here, I actually got 8,000 views and stuff like that. Now I know you were like, wait, didn't you spend $100 on every platform? Well, the way it works is that you give the platform a $100 budget for them to spend. They might not always spend that amount of budget for you. In this case, YouTube only spent $44 for me, and it got the best results, so it's the best bang for my buck. You can actually see coming down here that I have a $100 budget targeted for the ads, but they only spend $44, yet they still got 8,000 views. Now, if you didn't know how YouTube works, it is basically the unskippable 5-second ad at the beginning of the video, which looks something like this, right? And as far as I know, YouTube only charges you if they watch the video or they brought to your page. So if they hit skip, as in they didn't really care to watch it, YouTube actually doesn't charge you. So in that sense, the return could be really good, right? And you can kind of tell because most people skip it past the first 5 seconds. So the first 5 seconds are unskippable, so you have 90-second retention. They are forced to watch it, and then the people obviously immediately left. Now the thing you will notice here is that typically video has a large drop off, but in my opinion, getting to 35% in 10 seconds is actually really good. The reason why this 35% ratio is really good is because most people who came across the ad don't actually care about the ad. They're just a barrier to watching what they actually want. So most people do not care and they just skip it over, right? But the 35% people who like watched it the first 5 seconds and was like, wait, this is kind of cool, let me keep watching it, is actually pretty impressive. Which is why the most important thing when it comes down to making a good debut trailer is probably to make an actual good trailer where people will care to watch and people will stay past the first 5 seconds. Because if your trailer is not good, no matter how much money you put into it, people will not care about it. This is the reason why the trailer itself was a large amount of the budget, because you have to make the trailer good first before you can do anything else. Again, like this frame along with the hand draw animation, I think it costs $150 for that frame along with the Polaroid, so that's something there to consider. For the $44.81 USD that I spent, I got 429 subscribers from this trailer, which is already significantly more than the 27 flopping follower I got from Twitter, yet while spending double the amount of money, right? And this amount of subscriber, in my opinion, is pretty big when you're starting out on an empty channel that doesn't have anyone watching. And this is actually about half of the subscriber I have on the current channel right now. Right, for my channel right now, I'm sitting at 931 after doing a lot of other content as well. But the trailer itself, the promotion, netted me half of the potential viewers, which could then get subscriber notification that could come back to watch my next video, watch my debut and stuff like that. Which is again reflected in the survey because 44% of the people who care to respawn came from YouTube. Now I know of course this survey is probably skewed because I put the link in the YouTube description as well as on my Twitch chat, so people there are more likely to respond and stuff like that. But I think the sample is still there. If you were to ask my honest opinion, I actually think YouTube ads could be worth it given that you have the budget for it. Because when you have nobody watching, getting at least some people watching to kickstart your channel would be really good. Because then someone start watching, you start getting into the algorithm, and then hopefully you can get more content out later and stuff like that. Next up is Instagram, because we did have a couple of people coming in from Instagram for my debut. This is what the Instagram ad analytic looked like. You can see here, again, I gave it a $100 budget and it only spent $93.93. My Instagram ad got 7,000 views-ish, which is a lot less than the YouTube if you think about it, because on YouTube, I spent $44 and I got 8,000 to 9,000 views, while on Instagram, I spent double that amount and only got 7,000 views. So I got less views for spending twice the amount. Potentially because, again, Instagram count people scrolling past it as a view. This is what the ad preview looked like on Instagram. Instagram pushed you out in 5 different kind of formats, including your feed, your story, your explorer, your reels, and your portfolio feed. I feel like the ads itself performed it fine. One of the things you'll notice is that Instagram as well as TikTok, which I'll show in a bit, is a vertical focused platform. So unfortunately, I had to crop the ads into like a more suitable vertical format instead of the horizontal format that YouTube was able to provide. But you can see that the ads overall had pretty good engagement ratio. I got 900 likes over 8,000 to 9,000 views, which is again like a slightly higher than a 10% ratio. And I earned 362 followers from this ad, which is pretty good considering that my Instagram account currently only have 500 followers. So again, it's a little bit more than half that it earned me, which can potentially discover my other content and stuff like that. But I feel like the juicy part from the Instagram ad is actually going to be in the portfolio visit. It doesn't show on right here, but if we go to the breakdown, you can see that 324 people decide to click on and check out your portfolio, which I feel like that is the real juicy part, because when you let them see your other content on the page, maybe they can discover your design, maybe they can discover your other things like that. You give a second chance for them to reassure them to stay and stuff like that. Most importantly is that on Instagram, you can attach a bio and a link at the very top. And so people will be able to click on this link right here and they'll be like, oh, I can go to his Twitch, I can go to his Twitter, I can go to his YouTube and stuff like that. Which I feels like is where people are coming from. Because it's very, very easy to convert people to go to your portfolio and then click on the link and then go to something else. Which is why we are able to convert people from going from Instagram into the actual debut. Instagram, I feel like, is not too bad. If your goal is to get people to click on your portfolio, I feel like the mistake I hear is that I don't have a strong portfolio, so the people who click weren't able to discover more about yourself. But if I have something like a hot girl goon bait, a fanboy VTuber bait right here, don't ignore this, then I feel like it would have been a pretty good strategy to make people like rediscover your other content and stuff like that. So overall, for the purpose of debut, I feel like Instagram was okay. It is definitely not as good as YouTube, but I think it did its job a little bit. The final platform we have today is, of course, the other vertical platform, which is TikTok. Now, I spent $70 on TikTok because I ate $30 into fee. It turned out if you do it on the website, you don't have fees because I was using the iPhone. But you have to use tiktok.com/promo, right? So I lost $30 right here. But compared to the cost to Instagram, you'll see that you get way higher views for the same cost. On Instagram, I spent $100 for 7,000 to 8,000 views. On TikTok, I spent $70 for 9,000 views, so there were a lot more eyes on it. But in addition to that, what seems to happen on TikTok is that I got bonus view. The TikTok ad was basically like, oh look, your videos actually is pretty good. People actually do watch it. Let me push it into the algorithm and give you more view. So in the end, my TikTok video actually did 12k view in total. And I think about 2,000 of those views is what I like to call bonus view, where TikTok was like, right, I get you're not running an ad anymore, but honestly, this video is pretty good. So let me push it out a little bit more, right? So in the end, let's say I got 10,000 views from $70, which is a lot more effective than the Instagram ads. Now, the problem you see is that the conversion ratio on TikTok really sucks. Even though it got a lot more views, the issues with TikTok as a platform is that TikTok is all about fast scrolling. You consume, scroll, consume, scroll, consume, scroll. You never stay to check out what this person is really about, right? I got 551 followers, which compared to the Instagram conversion ratio, I feel like it's a little low, but it's about the same. But the thing you'll notice is that the portfolio view is significantly lower, right? On Instagram, I did 8,000 views and 300 of those people visited my portfolio, which can potentially check out my other content. On TikTok, the view is higher, but the portfolio view is twice as large, right? So less people are like, oh, I kind of like this guy. Let me check out what else he have. Like, less people are like that. People are just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. People will hit the follow button just in case you do come out in their algorithm again, but their discovery to going to your other platform will be a lot lower because they're not going to your portfolio view to see where your other links are and stuff like that. And so again, I feel like the survey is not perfect, but it is like a sample size. Nobody filled out the survey who came from TikTok. So that was like the thing. In that sense, I feel like TikTok as a platform, if your purpose is to get quick views for like an event, to get like a merge sales, maybe it is okay. But for the purpose of getting people to come to your stream for your debuts, I feel like TikTok is not a very effective ads platform. Is it worth it to do a VTuber debut and then spending ads money to promote it? Honestly, I feel like if you do it right and you have spare money, absolutely. The YouTube promotion was not too costly and have great results. The other platform were kind of especially Twitter. Like, this was an absolute scam to give me 27 followers. I'm just gonna be real. But with that being said, I feel like the YouTube stuff did pretty well. Debut is never gonna be that important, to be honest, because if you have time, money, and effort, you should always try to make good content instead of artificially trying to prompt up your debut and stuff like that, right? But a good way to think about it is that when people eventually do discover your channels, which hopefully can get the ball rolling by getting an initial wave of subscriber, follower, and stuff like that, people will come back and they'll go watch your debut to see who you really are. So with that being said, go watch my debut video, please. I lost $500 making these videos, so please help, please subscribe, please watch my debut. I'm a brand new math guy, fanboy VTuber, whatever it is. Alright, see you guys in the next time. Subscribe, bye bye.